Okay, let's go then. Okay, so good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this nice sunny day. My name's Carolyn Griffiths, and I'm the marketing manager for Cruises from Liverpool. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Kerry Eads, who's our account manager from Fred Olsen Cruises, who will be presenting their 2023 programme along with some great early booking offers and obviously lots of cruises from Liverpool for us to look forward to in 2023. We've been working with Fred Olsen for many, many years and have a fantastic relationship with them. Those of you that haven't sailed with Fred Olsen before, Kerry will obviously go into more detail about them, but they are obviously smaller ships, more intimate ships, more friendly ships in my view. I had the pleasure of taking my own holiday with them back in 2019. I sailed on Braemar down into the Med and up into Seville, and I have to say that I was quite blown away with Fred's, and I am a firm fan of them. I was on a ship, some of you may have seen it in Liverpool port yesterday and the day before, a much larger ship on the weekend, and I have to say that although it was fantastic, I didn't see the same member of staff twice, and I kind of got lost, whereas you don't get that on the small Fred Olsen ship. So if you're looking for a more kind of smaller friendly ship, then Fred Olsen I can definitely recommend. The other thing just to say is we've got lots of cruise specialists here at Cruises from Liverpool that actually have first-hand knowledge and have sailed also on Fred Olsen on various ones of their ships. We had two groups sail with Kerry at the back end of last year. They were on Buletta, which is obviously the sister ship to Borealis that sails from Liverpool, one of the new ships, and they had a fantastic time. So if you need any kind of first-hand information, then obviously our staff are there to offer that for you and to give you any assistance that you need. If there's any questions as we go through the presentation, if I can ask you just to drop them in the chat, and then we will endeavour to answer them as many as we can at the end. So without further ado, I will pass over to Kerry, who will be able to take you through the presentation. Thanks, Kerry.
Brilliant, thanks Carolyn. Well, a very good morning everyone. Thank you for joining us here for this presentation all on Fred Olsen Cruise Lines. So some of you on the call may have cruised with us lots, some of you on the call may have never cruised or may never have cruised with Fred Olsen. So I'm just going to run through our summer 2023 launch itineraries, which actually went on sale yesterday. So I'm just going to share my screen with you all. So hopefully you can see that. So this is the cover of our new brochure. So we're proud to say that we have launched our summer sailings for 2023. So this is departures from May 2023 through to October 2023. So it does also include all 4 of our ships. So we will be getting Balmoral back in the water in May of this year, so just a few more weeks to wait. And then the Braemar will be returning to water in April 2024. So, sorry, 23. So this brochure does cover all 4 of our ships back in the water. If you are looking for a departure after October 2023, you don't have to wait much longer, just a couple more weeks. At the end of April, we'll then be releasing the winter 23 and into 2024 sailings. So these itineraries will take you up until October 23. So for those of you that are new to Fred Olsen, I'm just going to run through our key selling points and really what makes us different from other cruise lines out there. Well, number 1 is we are proud to sail our own course. Here at Fred Olsen Cruise Lines, we like to do things different, and we're free to do things differently because we're a family-run independent company. Of course, there are some people out there who do prefer the bigger and busier cruise ships, but it's not for everyone, and it's certainly not for us here at Fred Olsen Cruise Lines. We prefer to do our things our way, which we actually call the Olsen way. So we certainly believe that smaller is better. We have fewer guests on board our ships, so the atmosphere on board is always warm and civilized. Our smaller ships also allow us to visit the more interesting places that the world has to offer that the big ships simply can't get to. We believe in handcrafted, not mass produced, so we pride ourselves on putting our all into the Fred Olsen cruising experience. Our itineraries are created from scratch every single year. Our service is genuinely personal, and each and every area on board our ships is designed by hand. So when we come on to look at the actual itineraries in a moment of where we're actually going for summer 2023, we take lots of things into consideration. So they are certainly handcrafted itineraries. We don't follow other cruise lines. We go our own unique course. And it's all about the people, all of it, everything. There are certain things that can only happen when people put genuine care and positivity in what they do. We believe that you can have all the equipment in the world, but in the end, it all comes down to the people. And we believe we are travellers more than we are tourists. Our way is about creating experiences that attract like-minded travel enthusiasts. People are as excited to engage with the wonders of the world as much as we are. We believe in the joy of the journey. So we believe the purpose of a cruise is to experience the wonders of the world by always looking out and not facing in. Maritime is certainly in our DNA here at Fred Olsen Cruise Lines. The Olsen family have been sailing for nearly 200 years, and we will never lose sight of our love for the sea. That's why we will always choose to sail with ships that actually look like ships, and cabins are called cabins, and our ships look like ships, certainly more so than hotels and or floating holiday resorts. We travel the world respectfully. We have great respect for the natural world and the diverse cultures of the places that we visit. We run smaller ships, so we believe that we travel lightly rather than overwhelm the beauty or the local people at the destination that we're visiting. So when you're cruising with us, you're going to be cruising with hundreds of passengers, not thousands and thousands of thousands. And that's particularly important when you are visiting smaller destinations around the world. We design everything with elegance, simplicity, and attention to detail. We choose linen, not cotton. We choose leather, not plastics. Our focus is always on quality, and our ships are genuinely loved by us. Every little detail is closely considered and reviewed. I det beste skap, in the best of company. There's a phrase in our native Norwegian tongue, and it simply translates to, you're in the best of company. Our guests are like-minded, our crew are genuinely friendly, and we are very proud to say that as a result of this, we have more returning guests than any other cruise line. So if you know people that have cruised with us before, guarantee you that they love Fred Olsen and they choose to come back and cruise with us time and time again. So about 70% of our clients that come on board our ships have cruised with us before, which is an absolutely huge number in itself. The main reasons is because they feel like they're at home. They are Mr. and Mrs. Smith or Peter and Joan, however they wish to be known on board to us. They're not just another cabin number. And of course, the food is outstanding, and they certainly feel at home coming back on board a Fred Olsen ship. So we do set sail from a number of UK departure ports. So of course, cruises from Liverpool, we have ships in and out of Liverpool pretty much year round now. Liverpool is just as much as an established port as Southampton nowadays, particularly with Fred Olsen Cruise Lines. So I'm just going to talk to you about the 4 ships that we have in the fleet. So this time next year, all 4 ships will be back in the water, and we can't wait. Obviously, the pandemic's had a horrendous time on the whole of the travel industry, and in particular the cruise industry, but we are still here and we are getting back onto the water with our full ships. So Belletta is our flagship. Belletta and Borealis are sister ships. So if you live close to Liverpool or the surrounding area, you may well have seen Borealis sailing in and out of Liverpool. It's her home port. But Belletta and Borealis are sister ships. So Belletta is based further south and of course on the east coast. So Belletta serves Dover, Southampton and Newcastle. So both Belletta and Borealis have around approximately the same number of passengers on board, 1,338. So anything less than 1,500 passengers is considered a small ship. So we do have small ships and we can take you to places the big ships can't get to. But on board our ships, of course, although they're smaller, we still have everything you need to enjoy your cruise. We have restaurants. For example, we've got 6 bars and lounges. We have a 2-tiered show lounge. We have swimming pools. And the picture you can see here is a retractable roof. So if the weather's great, we'll open that roof up and you can swim and enjoy the sunshine. If the weather's not so favourable, we can close that and you can still enjoy the swimming pools and that lounge deck on the top. We've got jacuzzis, of course, we've got spas. We also have rigid inflatable boats on board our ships. So that means we can take you even closer. So you can go ashore with these ribs and whiz around the Mediterranean or Norway, Greenland, Iceland, everywhere in the world that we go. You can jump on board these rigid inflatable boats and just get that little bit closer. We have fitness centres, hairdressers, libraries, boutique shops, auditorium or a demonstration theatre for our chefs on board. And of course we have card rooms. But what we don't have are ice skating rinks, robotic bars, those sorts of things. But we know that's what our clients don't want. So why have that on board our smallest ship? We don't need that. So Borealis is serving Liverpool. So she spends the majority of her time in and out of Liverpool, with a few departures leaving from Southampton also. And the great thing about Borealis and also is that her world cruises will set sail from Liverpool. They don't have to come all the way down to Southampton just to join the ship. You can join the ship in Liverpool and then the ship will come round to Southampton to pick up the southern passengers before exploring the world cruise. And that happens on quite a few of our cruises as well. So as I said, Borealis and Valletta are sister ships. So Borealis has 1,360 passengers. And once you've set foot on these two new ships, it's very, very difficult to actually tell them apart. So well, pretty much almost identical ships. And I will also tell you that Borealis and Valletta are the fastest cruise ships in the world. They have a maximum cruising speed of 25 knots. So that's a great advantage, particularly when you are crossing a vast amount of sea, such as the Atlantic or indeed the Pacific Ocean. It's just you can get across much quicker on these faster ships. So for example, crossing the Atlantic Ocean will only take you 4 or so days, whereas if you were on some of our other vessels or indeed other cruise lines, that might take 5 or 6 days. So we've got a 25 maximum cruising speed. Great also for heading down to the Mediterranean, particularly from Liverpool. You can get down to the Mediterranean much quicker. And of course we have Balmoral. She's going to be sailing out of Southampton, Newcastle and Rosyth. So Balmoral is currently up in Rosyth, up in dry dock, where she's been since the start of the pandemic, and she'll be ready to get back into the water in early May. So just a few more weeks to wait until Balmoral is back in the water. She has a passenger capacity of 1,325. So the 3 ships I've spoken about so far roughly have the same number of passengers on board. However, Balmoral is slightly smaller, which means the other 2 ships are a little bit bigger and a bit more spacious. And just to give you the average speed of Balmoral, 16 knots versus 25. And 16 knots is roughly the maximum top speed for most cruise ships out there. So you can see how much faster Borealis and Valletta can travel. But rest assured, once we are doing more scenic cruising and we're in and around the ports of course, we won't be going that fast. We will certainly slow the pace down so you get to enjoy and see the scenic cruising. And then lastly, we have Braemar. She's the baby of the fleet. She will be sailing from Dover and also from Southampton in the summer of 2023. So we're just not quite ready to put her back in the water just yet. So she'll be returning to the water in April 2023. So she carries just over 900 passengers. So she is the baby of the fleet, which also means that she can go to destinations such as the Corinth Canal. She's small enough to get under the bridges and through the Corinth Canal. So she's a very special ship that can just take you to places that the other big ships can't get to. And again, all the facilities on board that you will find on our other ships. So yesterday was the launch of our brand new summer 2023 departures. So anything from May 23 to October 2023. Now, we're fully aware that there are people out there that had booked a cruise with us, but unfortunately haven't yet set foot on a Fred Olsen ship, maybe because of the pandemic and obviously previous cancelled cruises. So if that is yourself, or indeed you've cruised with us before, then you will be an Oceans member. And those cruises went on sale yesterday. So you are able to book cruises today. Now, general on sale is Friday. So that's tomorrow. Friday, yeah, it's tomorrow, is general on sale. So if you've never cruised with Fred Olsen before and you don't have any future cruise vouchers or anything from previous cancelled cruises, you will have to wait until tomorrow. My advice is, if you see any itineraries that you do like and you're inspired by, don't wait, because obviously there are lots of people that are still sat on vouchers over the last couple of years due to the pandemic. We've got about 5,000 cabins that we know are waiting to book, and they've been waiting for the summer 2023 itineraries to come on sale. So head office was very busy yesterday with bookings. We're expecting it to be very busy again today. So my advice would be call into your travel agent and get your cabins booked sooner rather than later to avoid any disappointment. So with our new launches, we do have some new offers. So we've got a free onboard spend of up to £250 on selected sailings, and that's anything from 5 to 19 nights in duration. And we will then double that onboard spending credit if you decide to book yourself a suite and splash out. If you are thinking of choosing a cruise for a 2022 departure, so anything left for this year, then that onboard spending credit offer also applies on 2022 departures. And I know at Cruises from Liverpool, we also have parking as well. We have free car parking options on selected sailings. So do get in touch with Cruises from Liverpool, because they've got some great offers for you cruising out of Liverpool, or indeed any other port if you would like to travel a little bit further. For those of you that are solo travellers, or maybe you have some friends that are solos and would like to cruise with us, do spread the word, because we do have a lot of cruises that have no single supplement offers. So this means that a solo traveller can occupy a twin cabin and they're only paying for themselves. They're not being penalised because they're a solo traveller. So we've got about 25 different itineraries on sale, and a lot of them are from Liverpool as well, which is fantastic. So do get in touch with Cruises from Liverpool and we can send you some lists of those itineraries with no single supplements. So when we generally put new itineraries on sale, we do have a lot of cruises with no single supplement offers. They're not going to be around forever because they will be capped. So just bear that in mind. Obviously, it does depend on how busy the itineraries sell and how quickly and how popular they are. So my advice, if you see some fantastic solo offers with no single supplements, book them as soon as you see them, because those cabins and those prices we cannot guarantee, because it all does depend on supply and demand. We also have 3 and 4 berth cabin offers as well. So if you are 2 people travelling in a cabin and you've got either some friends or family that would like to join you in the same cabin, then they can set sail from as little as £199 per person. So we have cabins that sleep 3 and 4 people. Some of those cabins may have pull down bunk beds. Some of those cabins may have a larger floor space, which means that we can actually put roll-away beds inside of those cabins, so they're not necessarily bunk beds. This is for selected July and August 2023 departures. So if there is 3 or 4 of you in a cabin, then of course the prices do come down. So let us know if you are interested in sailing in July or August next year, and you can bring some friends or family at reduced prices, sharing your same cabin. So let's move on and look at the cruise highlights for the summer of 2023. So we have our new brochures out. If you have cruised with Fred Olsen before, you will most likely have received, or in the next coming days will receive, that brochure. If you've never cruised with Fred Olsen before, please do get in touch with Cruises from Liverpool and we can either email that brochure over to you and you can have a look on email, or indeed we can pop one in the post to you. Just let Cruises for Liverpool know and we can send some details out to you. So exploring the world the Olsen way. So where do we go in the world? Well, of course, the world is our oyster. We're very lucky. Being that we're a family-run independent company, we can go the world over. So we will be returning to the Caribbean with our fly cruising season for 2023 into 2024. They're not yet on sale, but they will be very soon as we've transferred our guests over that were on previous cancelled cruises. Then the Caribbean fly cruises in and out of Cuba and Barbados will be back on sale. We have Latin America and Antarctica, Canaries, the Azores and Madeira, the British Isles. So last summer we were only allowed to sail around the British Isles, and they were very popular cruises indeed, so much so that we've added some more to the itinerary schedule for 2023. Norway, Iceland and Greenland. Of course, Norway is our bread and butter. We know Norway like the back of our hand, and it's one of those places in the world that we feel that we show you the best of Norway. Because we're smaller ships, we can take you to places that the big ships simply can't get to. And we'll come on to more details in just a moment. Of course, we do Scandinavia. We are in the process of sadly having to change some of our itineraries for 2022. We won't be visiting Russia, so that does include our St. Petersburgs and our Black Sea cruise departures. So we have removed Russia for the itinerary for 2022, and we will not be going to St. Petersburg and Russia in 2023 at the moment. So we don't have any Baltic cruises on sale for 2022 or indeed 2023. We are still visiting places like Finland, like Latvia, Estonia and places like that. But of course, we're not going right up into the Baltic. We've got European rivers and cities. Again, our ships are small enough that yes, you can cruise up and down rivers on our ocean ships because they're small enough. They can get in and out of locks and they can go underneath bridges, which gives us a great advantage. Again, we can go to places big ships can't get to. And of course, the Mediterranean and the Balkans and world cruises around South America, all the way around the world. And we also have 2024 world cruises on sale because over the last couple of years, we haven't been able to cruise the world. But indeed, we've still had lots of people that want to do that. So our world cruises and our grand voyages are selling particularly well. I think for 2024 already, we're about 80% full. So again, if you are thinking, I know 2024 seems a long way away at the moment, but if you don't book onto these cruises soon, then they will be full and we obviously want to avoid any disappointment. So cruises are getting booked up. And of course, there are lots of people that are still sat on vouchers to be used. So we are expecting an influx of bookings, particularly over the coming weeks. So moving on to the destinations in a little bit more detail. So the Fred Olsen difference, when you're visiting Norway with us, of course, it is our homeland. We will always have pilots guide us through the scenic Fjordland. And if there's anything to see and do differently, we will deliberately divert down restricted waterways, of course, if the weather allows us to do so. So you will get close and personal to some fantastic, very narrow fjords, some great waterfalls as well. And we always go to Norway and time it specifically for scenic cruising. So for example, if you go in the springtime is a great time to go. Lots of the ice is melting and the waterfalls will be at their fullest. Summertime, obviously, hopefully the weather will be beautiful, lots of blue skies and things like that. And of course, going in the winter, you're going to have a good chance to see the Northern Lights. Now, the Northern Lights have been at their absolute best this particular winter. If you follow us on Facebook, you may certainly have seen some images that have been sent back from the ships. Even last night from Borealis was up in Iceland and she had some amazing views of the Northern Lights last night. So if you've not yet seen the Northern Lights, I do recommend putting it on your bucket list. I was very fortunate. I've been working with Fred Olsen for over 10 years now, 7 of which I actually worked on board our ships. And I've never not been up to Arctic Norway in the winter and not seen the Northern Lights. Every single time I've been up there, we've seen them, which is absolutely fantastic. So just to give you a bit of a highlight of some of our cruises that we have up to Norway. So our southern fjords, the shorter night cruises, are very popular for first-timer cruisers. And this one is only 8 nights. So as I mentioned before, Borealis is a very fast ship, the fastest in the world, in fact. So when you're leaving Liverpool to get over to Norway, it's only 8 nights, which is great. And this one is departing on the 18th of August 2023. Prices start at 1,299. And with the launch offer, this one either comes with £100 per person on board spend, or if you're booking a suite, and of course Norway is a great cruise to have a balcony and a suite, then we will give you £200 per person on board spend. The image of this fjord here is a size restricted fjord because there is bridges and cables that run across the mountainside, and obviously big ships can't get under the bridges and they can't get under the cables, so it then becomes a size restricted fjord, and that means that we can cruise up and down these amazing fjordlands and waterways, whereas the big ships can't. So we believe that we see the best of Norway, and we certainly show you the best that Norway has to offer. Moving on to the southern ports and heading down to a bit more sunshine in the Mediterranean. So we do cruise the world over. So down in the Mediterranean, we dock a lot closer to the berth than a lot of big ships because we simply are small enough and we can get in and a lot closer to particularly some fantastic ports along the Mediterranean. We handcraft our itineraries to visit cities known for culture and history, visiting highlighted and hidden destinations with picturesque harbours only possible with smaller ships. And of course, we time the itineraries perfectly, depending if there's some fantastic world events on down in the Mediterranean, such as the Monaco Grand Prix, or indeed going down when the purple lavender fields are in full bloom. Now, looking at the new itineraries, although this is a Southampton departure, it is jumping out at me as looks like one of my favourites for summer 2023 already. 17-night departure, setting sail on Braemar from Southampton in the middle of June, so the middle of summer next year. Prices start at 2,699, and you can get up to £500 on board spending credit on that one. So it's when the lavender fields are in full bloom, and we also dock in the heart of Marseille, which is easy for exploration of the historic city. We take you to Monaco, Corsica, and the Italian island of Elba, and many more along your destination. And again, Marseille is one of those places that we can dock in the port where big ships simply can't get to. So there's great advantages to being on a smaller ship. We also have the Renaissance Italy and Amalfi Coast Cruise. So this one is leaving Liverpool, and depending on where you live and how far away from Liverpool you live, we are offering a free door-to-door transport on this one. Now, it is up to 200 miles from the port of Liverpool each way. And of course, that does only apply to mainland UK. So if you're living on the Isle of Man, the Channel Islands, or over in Northern Ireland, unfortunately, that won't apply. Only based on mainland transport. So the minute you shut your front door, you are on holiday. You don't have to worry about getting to the port because we will take care of that for you. It may be a taxi, it may be a small minibus, depending on how many people in your local area are actually booked onto that particular voyage. So it's a 25-night cruise, starting at 3,999 on the 15th of June next year. So again, taking in the Adriatic and the Amalfi coast. Beautiful cruise. We also have the Balkans cruise, so going to the Adriatic with Venice and exploring more of the Balkans. Again, it's a 26-night cruise, so a lot of the Mediterranean cruises are slightly longer, but we've planned the itinerary so that you never will have more than 2 consecutive sea days in a row. So you're going to have lots of ports around. Again, the reason for that is because they're faster ships. So when we're cruising in the evening, once we've left one port, going to the other, it's going to take us a lot quicker time to get there. So you're going to have less sea days on the Mediterranean island cruises as well, which is fantastic. European rivers and cities. So if you just have a quick look at some of these pictures on the screen, you'll see that these are ocean-going vessels, but small enough to go up and down rivers, waterways, locks, and canals, and so forth. So our ships can sail right into the heart of the destination, past picturesque countryside scenes while sailing shallower waters. And of course, the handcrafted itineraries will be visiting cities known for culture and history as well. So our ships are small enough to get under bridges again and gives us great passage and great docking in the heart of these destinations. This is just one particular itinerary going to France and into the heart of Seville. So it's leaving in July next year for 15 nights. And again, you've got your onboard spend. So this takes you up the River Seine as far as Rouen, and then you can either jump on a bus or on the train into the city of Paris, or indeed you can cruise right up into the heart of Seville. And again, big ships have to dock in the city of Cadiz, jump on a coach for about 2 hours before arriving into Seville. We carry on cruising up the river and right into the heart of the city. So not only are you getting scenic cruising up and down the river, but once you are off the gangway, you have 1 minute walk, if that, into the heart of the city and the palace. Of course, we've got British Isles cruises. We did a lot of these last summer. They are very popular indeed. Just gives us that opportunity to explore places a little closer to home. And of course, some of us may, including myself, travelled the world, but never really explored what we have on our own doorstep. So these itineraries are designed to get to the hardest reach areas, particularly up in the Scottish Highlands and Islands. We can encounter remarkable wildlife and dramatic landforms, ancient and historical sites, and culture-rich cities along the way. And again, being on a smaller ship, we can hug the coastline a little bit closer, and you get to see and do more in and around the UK coastline. And of course, we do have cruises that circumnavigate the UK. They go up and around the Scottish Islands and Highlands, and also cruises that circumnavigate Ireland as well. So this is one of those that is circumnavigating Ireland. It's an 8-night cruise setting off from Liverpool in July of 2023. So you'll be able to visit Fingal's Cave, go and see Belfast, and of course the Titanic Museum as well, which I think should be on everyone's list. It's one of my favourite museums I've ever been to. Canaries, Madeira, the Azores and Africa. Of course, we will always have cruises down to some sunshine, whatever the time of year. So down in the Canaries, Madeira, Azores and Africa, lots of natural environments to experience. Volcanoes, of course, natural flora and fauna. Lots of whale watching out in the Atlantic as well. And of course, Madeira with the flowers and even the flower festival. The Azores further out in the Atlantic are quite remote, and not many airlines fly out to the Azores from the UK. So it's a great way to go and see the Azores and see a number of the islands out there, and certainly doing it by cruise. And of course, being on board our ships, there are fewer guests on board, so you're not going to be overwhelming that destination when you do get off on your day excursion and have a look around these beautiful ports of call. So this is an Azores cruise going to the Azores and of course Madeira. So this one's actually setting sail August 2023. We have spoken about Norway already, but of course we do Norway, we do the Arctic, we also do Arctic, Greenland and Iceland. So again, we can deviate from the usual tourist routes for scenic cruising because we're small, because we can. We will also have orca on board our ships, so the wildlife charity, and searching and looking for whales in their natural habitat. You can witness, of course, the power of the waterfalls and the geysers in Iceland and marvel at wild, unspoilt, rugged terrain, whether you're going to the Arctic in the summer or indeed the winter months. So Borealis actually set sail from Liverpool just a few days ago, heading up to Iceland. They've got orca on board as we speak. And they haven't yet seen whales, but they've seen lots and lots of white dolphins just jumping around and playing off the bow of the ship, which has been incredible. But fingers crossed they get some sightings of whales up in Iceland over the coming days. If you do follow us on Facebook, again, we do put all this information out there for you to see, to hope inspire you for your next cruise as well. So this particular Iceland cruise is circumnavigating Iceland at the end of August next year, for 9 nights. Again, if you don't want to wait for 2023, we do have departures going up this summer, of course. And again, there are selected itineraries with free parking in the city of Liverpool for you as well. So Iceland is a great destination, whether you're going up in the summer or indeed the winter, to see the geysers, the waterfalls, the volcanic volcanoes, and of course the earthquake fault lines. There's so much to see and do in and around Iceland, and of course the Blue Lagoon being a very popular shore excursion as well. And again, the guests on board Borealis last night were greeted with some amazing sights of the Northern Lights. We also have combined Greenland and Iceland cruises, so you don't only want to go and explore Iceland, you can go off and explore Greenland as well on the same itinerary. Slightly longer, this one's a 14-night cruise, so this is where you can get up close and personal to the icebergs. I've only been up to Greenland once actually on board our ship, so I really would love to go again. It's very remote. You'll see lots of wildlife, even walruses and seals just hanging out and sleeping on the icebergs. Absolutely incredible cruise that we offer up to this very remote part of the world. And then of course Liverpool, you are the closest, just a quick hop and a skip over the Atlantic Ocean, which will take you about 4 days. So this one's heading over at the time of year when the fall foliage is going to be at their best in October, late September, October. It's a 19-night cruise taking in lots of ports of call once you're over in Canada. And again, with onboard spending credit on that particular voyage on Borealis for 19 nights. So lots of itineraries to inspire you. Like I said, if you haven't yet got a copy of our new brochure, give us a call and we can, give Cruises for Liverpool a call and we can send a brochure out to you, or certainly email it across as well. We do have copies. The all-inclusive drinks package is available if you are thinking of booking a cruise, particularly in the next couple of weeks. I would recommend adding this on if you want the drinks package. If you are a bit unsure if it's going to be for you, or you want to add it on at a later stage, my advice would be to add it on now, because I can tell you that the prices of other drinks packages will be increasing over the next couple of weeks. So if you do want the drinks package, add it on now at the cheaper price of £19 per person per day. We do also have our all-inclusive, our Fred Olsen enjoyment promise. So if you've never cruised before, or you've never cruised with Fred Olsen, or maybe you have cruised with us before, but maybe it's been a few years, or you haven't yet tried our new ships, you come on board and you actually realise maybe Fred Olsen isn't for you. We're fully aware it's not for everybody. Then give us a try. And if you really don't like it, we will fly you home from the first opportunity at the first port of call, at our expense, and we will give you a full refund on your cruise. So pretty much this is our enjoyment promise, which says we guarantee you pretty much you're going to come on board our ships and have a great time and enjoy yourselves, and no doubt it won't be your first cruise. You are likely to join the 71% of our returning guests that cruise with us many times throughout the year. So Cruises from Liverpool do, they know our ships, as Carolyn said at the very beginning. They've been on a lot of our ships. Boletta and Borealis are sister ships. So if you've been on Boletta, then you would know exactly what to expect on Borealis cruising out of Liverpool. So feel free to ask us any questions. We'll have a quick look in the chat now if there are any questions. If not, the guys at Cruises from Liverpool will certainly be able to help you with all your cruising needs for Fred Olsen.
Lovely, thanks Kerry, thanks for that excellent presentation, and I hope Kerry's inspired you with some new amazing cruises. I can recommend that Seville one because that's the one that I did in 2019 and it is amazing. Amazing sailing, that one. Obviously lots of early booking offers, onboard spending, solo offers, extra passengers going for 199. There's no questions in the chat, Kerry, but just give me, I'm just going to throw one at you because obviously I know you've been on Borealis. What was your favourite bit of Borealis?
Well, all of it. We do have specialty restaurants on the two new ships. One of them is called oh, you've put me on the spot.
Sorry.
It's a Goan restaurant and it is amazing Indian food. There's no cover surcharge on that one and it's available every night of the cruise, but you do have to book because it's quite a small intimate restaurant. So if you love Indian and particularly Goan curries and things like that, do go there. The other restaurant I would say, which is the specialty restaurant, the cover charge at the moment is only £5 per person. And if I was on a longer cruise, I'd be in there every day because it's Asian fusion food every night, and it's amazing. And again, you do need to book into that restaurant because it's quite small and intimate. And also, I really enjoyed the cooking demonstration theatre, which is new to us on the 2 new vessels. So the chefs will go in there, they will demonstrate. It's a bit like Can't Cook and Won't Cook. Can't Cook and Won't Cook, perhaps. So you can go in there and the chefs will teach you and show you how they create the dishes that they do in the main restaurants. And the best bit is you get to taste it at the end as well.
Fabulous. Making us feel hungry now, just before lunch, Kerry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okie dokie. So there's no other questions. Just to remind you
there
that
is
obviously.
One here.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Can you advise on the current capacity due to COVID, please? Yeah, we're allowed to sail back to 100% capacity. But the great thing is with the 2 new ships, they're very spacious. Now, although we're allowed to sail at 100% capacity, we still have got a few cabins that we're not putting on sale, just in case there are people on board that do have COVID, that we can isolate them away from other guests. So we can sell every cabin if we wish, but we've decided to still hold a few back, just in case we need to isolate people or anything like that during a particular voyage. So I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, good question. Any more questions, Kerry, that you can see in there?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So yeah, so hopefully you all enjoyed that, and you're all inspired to kind of get back to sea. Just to remind you that cruises from Liverpool are available until 10 o'clock every night. Our phone lines are manned 7 days a week until 10 p.m. We've got crew specialists with lots of experience on Fred Olsen ships, various ships, so can give you first-hand knowledge. And also just to say that if you're still thinking of going this year for 2022, we do have quite a lot of cruises with exclusive onboard spend or free port parking at Liverpool. So if you are still thinking of 2022, do contact us, because like I say, some of those offers on onboard spend and the free port parking are exclusive to cruises from Liverpool. So any other questions, then do get in touch. Like I say, open till 10 o'clock every night. Thank you very much again to Kerry, and thank you all for joining us, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.